This is going to be a different sort of video than usual. Like, normally I wouldn't upload this type of video on here, but I'm feeling stupid right now, so fuck it. Some of the stuff I'm about to say in here, while I don't think is controversial, probably gonna get me put on probably might get me put on a watch list or something from YouTube, because God knows they're a bunch of fucking Fed simps. Anyway, I've definitely talked about subjects like this on Twitter especially. And while I try to keep my more political stuff there, I thought I'd make this little unscripted, unedited, black screened, nothing, just a black screen, fucking going over exactly how I view freedom of speech and the particular, well, the only type of free speech I believe is legitimate, and that's free speech absolutism. Now, again, to like, I suppose, more free speech and libertarian circles, this isn't going to be that out there of a take, but fuck it. I want to make my views public, definitively public. Like, out there, anyone could just grab them and know how I actually view free speech. So, if the name free speech absolutism is an obvious clue enough, I do not believe there are any limitations to free speech. Free speech is a God-given right. That's how I view it. That's how I imagine a lot of people view it, or at least should. Do not believe any government, media platform, whatever you will, has the right to take it away from you. Again, cold take, I know, but don't worry, we'll get to the spicy stuff in a minute. And that goes for everything. Be it calling out tyrannical communist regimes like the CCP and how and their treatment of Taiwan and Hong Kong, or be it genuine degenerate fucks like Nazis talking about their hatred of Jews, or communists wishing death on the rich and capitalism, or some, I don't know, some critical race theory nut job spouting out on how all whites are evil because, you know, they're just fucking autistic like that. But no, all of that is free speech. And I believe that if you do not believe free speech is absolute, you do not support free speech. And that is not something I will ever waver on. If you do not support it for your enemy, for someone you disagree with, like, I hate a guy like fucking Vosh, for instance. I think he's a moral scumbag. But would I ever want him censored? Absolutely not. Same goes for fucking guys like Hassan Piker, even though, you know, fuck you in hell, something like that. That even goes for guys like on a faith-based level I'm absolutely appalled by, like Satanists, for instance. You know, people who worship the literal embodiment of evil. And granted, I know that's funny coming from me, given all the black metal I listen to, and that black metal is my favorite genre of music, and given all the satanic imagery you'll find in that. But I don't know. But no, all of it's fair game. It should never be censored. And the idea that to combat hate, you need to wipe it off the internet, or wipe it so people can't read it, or they'll become indoctrinated. I don't know. I think that says more about your lack of confidence in your own beliefs. That you're not confident enough to attack these ideas head on, these hateful, disgusting ideas head on. Because you know what? Fuck it. Because if you know something is truly evil, you shouldn't need to wipe it out of existence. You shouldn't need a government to come and define it as hate speech or something like that to be able to combat hate. You should be confident enough in your own arguments, your own beliefs, to challenge it yourself. All censoring an idea does is make people ask, why are you censoring this? Is there maybe something you don't want us to know? Maybe this idea is more valid than you want us to believe? And, you know, of course, fucking, if I didn't make it clear enough, I've said it before, all those ideologies, Nazism, communism, fascism, all that sort of stuff, evil. Utterly evil. I abhor Nazis, I abhor communists, I abhor fascists. I view them all as one and the same. However, the idea that to combat hate, we need to take away their right to freedom of speech is absurd. And fuck it, while they won't do the same, I'll support a Marxist right to free speech. They can still go to hell, but that doesn't mean I'm about to compromise on my principles. Never. Absolutely not. And you could argue, oh, but what about threats and stuff like that? Well, even then, at least you could argue maybe online, but in real life, there's direct consequences if you threaten someone. Direct social consequences. You know, someone might just say, oh, what you're gonna do about it? And you might have to act on that. There, that's your consequence. And the other problem with that is once something like, for instance, the government starts defining what is and isn't free speech or what's hate speech and not, what's to stop them from moving the goalpost? What's to stop them from defining me saying something like, for instance, oh, Congress is full of criminals who all deserve to be arrested, or what's to stop them from defining that as hate speech or a threat of something? And that's why we can't have any sort of entity defining. That's the problem with government doing it. And the problem with, media and stuff. And the problem with media platforms defining hate speech and stuff like that is, their definition depends on their subjective belief on what qualifies as hate speech. And that might not be as on point as someone else's, or it might differ from someone else's. So at the end of the day, you're stuck at their subjective whim. But I'm rambling a bit at this point. Moral of this, call me preaching, say I'm preaching to the choir, I don't fucking care. If you do not believe free speech is absolute, you do not support free speech. Do not claim to be a free speech advocate if you do not believe free speech is completely absolute. Do not claim it if you think there are limitations on free speech. There absolutely are not. It is morally wrong to restrict someone's freedom to speech. End of. And that's I think that's about it from me. I don't know. This isn't the most coherently thought out video. Maybe I'll fix it at some point. Maybe I'll update it, make something more in depth in the future. Probably not, because we all know I can't put out content to save my life. But for anyone looking for my views on it, this video will exist to provide an answer. So, yeah, that's where I stand. I'm the Absolute Degenerate, signing off. Hope you all have a good day, good night, wherever you're watching this. And God bless you all. Good night.